What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to another incredible Beyond Six Figures live stream event, a very special event with one of your guys' favorite gentlemen that we have here today, my man, Hermy, the absolute Don. Okay, I'm excited to go ahead and walk you guys through exactly what's planned for today. I'm telling you guys, stay the entire time. This is going to be a massively value-packed session walking through how Jean has been able to scale well above millions of dollars in his own brand that he's been running for a few years at this point. Okay, not a 2-week pump and dumper, because he's actually using the BSF systems to showcase to us how he's doing this, how he's been able to make it happen, how he actually was able to join Beyond Six Figures and learn these systems, and how he's doing today. Well, first and foremost, John, thank you so much for actually hopping on with us today. The community absolutely loves it when you come on and show us some love and show exactly what's going on behind the scenes. And an OG BSF member yourself, man, thank you so much for coming back. How's everything today with you?
Everything's amazing, man. Thank you for having me back. As always, I love coming in. I love coming in and talk to my guys, talk to my people. I have a lot of love for this program, for BSF, the community in general. So I always pop in back and forth, once in a while, drop some jam, be in and out. No, but thanks for having me, brother.
For sure. And, one of the cool things about you, man, is not only are you such a down-to-earth dude, not only are you such an intelligent guy, but you actually understand the power of systems, right? And that's why I love having you on, not only because we get so much incredible feedback, get Jean, bring him on, but we also, love the fact that you understand the power of systems, right? And that's one of the biggest things for you is having fluency and consistency. And that's what's done a lot for you in the past years of running this brand, right? Because it's not just you've had it for a month or 2 months. You've been running this thing for a few years and you scaled that thing up to a few $1 million. Is that correct?
Yes. I've had it since September of actually August of 2020.
Right.
So it's been officially years now, and we realized the brand is still at its lowest phase. It's not even as its peak yet, because when we realized the market, and we're damn, because every month, every years that goes by, you kind of learn something else. You look, and then you're wow, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. So I'm yo, the brand is so young. It's sky's the limit for now.
Hey, well, we got a lot to talk about today, man, and I'm excited to kind of roll through all of it. I'll do my best to kind of lead us in a very organized fashion to give everyone here watching a phenomenal session today, and also help you move forward and kind of just break everything down in a chronological order, and also talk some advanced Q4 stuff for all of us here as well. Well, for everyone on here, what's up? Good to see everybody. This is my student and great friend, Hermy. He's actually an incredible dude, multi-million-dollar e-commerce entrepreneur, has been growing this brand ever since we started here at BSF a few years ago, and it's still going strong, consistent. I want to walk you guys through how Jean's been able to make it happen through Beyond Six Figures, and how he consistently scales and maintains consistency on a day-to-day basis. Because there's so many of us who are looking for that consistency. We want to have that forward movement, but our businesses are up and down, right? John is a phenomenal individual on actually keeping the consistency in his business and actually explaining how we do it as well. So first and foremost, everyone here, thank you for actually showing up. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Do me a favor, throw a like on the video right now, throw a heart for the Facebook algorithm as well, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere in between, guys. It's really important that you go ahead and do that for the Facebook algo so everyone else in the group could see this awesome value. And we'll go ahead and take it from there as well. Hopefully everyone's doing good today. Comment where you're watching from down below, guys. We're going to be giving out a few hoodies throughout the session today. So I'm super excited to kind of give out some stuff and get some awesome value extracted from my man over here. So first and foremost, brother, walk us through how have things been going over the last few weeks, few months, and what are you kind of doing to prepare at this point in time for your future scaling of your brand, and what have you been working on as of late?
So, as I run a fitness brand. So, Q3, Q4, Q1 and 2 are usually really good for me. This summer, I've been mostly focusing on preparing for Q4. That's actually for Q4 and Q1. That's actually my main focus when it comes to this time of the year, because I know it's just the best time. Everyone is there, everyone is shopping, and they're not just shopping for themselves. So this is very important, because the buyer intent is so big that if you have anything that remotely makes sense to sell, Q4 is the best time to actually sell it. And and once you actually know how to sell it, you're already ahead of 90% of people on the platform trying to do the same. So now we're just focusing on building a much more efficient customer service team. Ours is already really good, but we were expecting an influx of support ticket as as we scale harder. So now we're like focusing on that. We recently just private labeled the brand, so everything has my logo on the packaging, on the actual product. So been super excited about that. That's been a big goal of mine. So like to have that in my house, just looking at it, I'm like, wow, that is
That's
me.
badass. No, and that's incredible, man. And it's so cool to kind of see the progression of what we started. Now you're really bringing it to levels that maybe we never thought were possible at the first start. But as you're seeing millions and millions of dollars yourself through your own brand, right now everything seems way more possible, right? Because you've been there and you're actually at that point where, wow, this stuff is actually real. Talk to us about that for a little bit. And there's a point that you said there, Jen, that I really, really love. You said that you're anticipating more order volume. You're anticipating more actual, individual consumers, right? Anticipation is power, right? That's one of the biggest things for all of us watching here, whether we're just starting brand new or scaling to millions of dollars. Anticipation is power. Being able to take proactive action for what will happen is what's going to keep your brand consistent for the long term. And quite frankly, it's probably a very big reason as to why you're so successful here is because you anticipate the future, my friend, right? And that's a big, big quality, especially for an e-commerce entrepreneur like yourself, to anticipate the coming times. Talk to us a bit more about what you're anticipating, how you prepare, and ultimately, everything else as well that you want to kind of share on that topic.
So, we've talked about that as well, like a while back, how we always want to be proactive and not reactive. So we always want to like kind of like anticipate, what's going to happen if we already have the data for it, Like, I mean, when it comes to e-commerce, quarter four, the data over like hundreds of years has said the same thing. So it's one of those things like I'm like, okay, I know quarter four is actually going to be amazing because we actually started BSF right at the end of quarter three. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember the day you enrolled, man. I remember almost everybody.
Right around like that quarter three, I think it was like around 2019 too. And then like I think by November, like it was just so silly because by November I just launched some shit. I mean, sorry, I just launched something and it just like took off. And I'm like, wow, like because you used to always preach quarter four. But to me, that made no sense. I was just like quarter four, whatever. But then I actually saw it firsthand. And then going into 2020, obviously like the beginning of the pandemic was still pretty good for e-commerce as well. And then 2020 quarter four was also amazing. And 2021 quarter four is even better. So I'm like, yo, there's a trend here. So, like it makes me more proactive and reactive, preparing inventory levels, like getting proof of concept of a particular product I want to sell. I want to know, by October, November, September, if I can, if it's going to work and, and start preparing, so you don't want that in the middle of the Q4 when everyone else, when all the other big dogs are already up and ready, with their, they're just ready to go to war. And then that's when you're like, wiping down your, your artillery. And you want to be ready. You want to be ready.
And one of the things that you said as well that I love, by the way, a lot of the stuff that you're saying here is just a lot of the same stuff that was reiterated at the Tony Robbins conference I was at a week ago, right? Is when you could notice pattern recognition, you could predict the future, right? So when you notice patterns, write these things down. Don't just take it for a grain of salt. Write these patterns down. What are you seeing? What are you noticing? That's incredible. If you can notice patterns and things that reoccur over and over again, you'll be able to make more money consistently as you push forward, which is exactly what you just stated as well, which is really, really cool, man. Now, we have a lot of people who are brand new and a lot of people who have been in the game for a while. For our people who are brand new, walk us through like when you first start seeing the ad account, you first get into e-commerce, you start to say to yourself, maybe this stuff is a little bit too hard for me. It seems complicated. Walk us through the complexity that it seems like it has when you first start compared to the nuance and how easy it becomes for you once you become a master and an expert like yourself.
Well, one thing I'll say, it's much easier than calculus, chemistry, all these other things you already took, like back in school. Like a lot of classes you've taken in high school and college are much harder than this. The reason why it feels so hard or intimidating is because you don't know what you're doing yet, which is okay. That's the same principle as like driving a car. You don't know what you're doing yet. So of course it's gonna feel hard, to back up, parallel park. But once you kind of like do it a couple times, it's just going to be muscle memory. So and I personally think the ad account is the way, it has evolved like till now, 2022. It's actually one of the simplest tools to use. It's literally everything. It literally tells you from step one to the end, what to do, literally, like the campaign name, this and that, interest. It's so simple. The only reason it feels hard is because you don't know how to do it yet. But I you know who Alex Hormozy is.
Yeah, of
He
course. He
always
said,
says, like he said recently, yeah, he is. He's a beast. He said recently, you only really need 20 hours of focused effort to like master something, right? And then all of us were always delaying the first hour. So like obviously, if it feels like intimidating, just going for the ad account, start playing with it. I promise you, by the third, fourth hour, is going to feel much easier. By the 10th hour, you're already going to be a master of that ad account. It's really not that difficult. So that's what I would have to say. It's a lot easier than you think. It's just your brain telling you it's hard, so you're convincing yourself it's hard.
That's a phenomenal, phenomenal point there, man. And for our people who are also doing very well at this point and maybe doing some big numbers every month, but maybe not at the multi-million-dollar mark like yourself, what is the difference that you would believe between someone who's doing like 6 figures, maybe hit the first 7 figures, between doing multi-7 figures like yourself? What's the difference there?
The difference is to actually, low key, just increase that budget, get more content, and increase that budget. I promise you, you will get to that. But obviously, you want to make sure that your product can scale to that level. But most products can. It's all about your messaging, your marketing, and how much budget you're willing to spend. Because you will get to that 7-figure level. You can get to it slow. You can get to it fast. Some people rather do it in a month, some people rather do it in 6 months, some people rather do it in a year. But it all depends on like how your systems are. But obviously, I would never recommend someone to just blow budget or like just throw up like a lot of money at Facebook and just scale when you can't sustain, because it's going to come back and bite you in the foot. You always wants to make sure you can sustain scale. You're better off doing 100K per month for 12 months than doing 1.2 million in 1 month, and then you're done. So it's better that way. So
I love that. And that's one thing that I am on the same page with as well, right? Linear growth and linear scale is, real movement. We don't care about the 1 month up and then down, right? We don't care about just launch numbers one day. We care about consistency, right? Consistency and linear growth month after month after month, right? And that's what a true business is. And no matter what we're doing here, you should be building your business, okay, building your store with the intent to sell it. Even if you don't want to sell it right away, obviously, right? You want to still build it to sell. Build it because people are going to want to see linear consistency. They're going to want to see data. They're going to want to see numbers. So you're going to have to keep that growth consistently, pushing over a certain period of time to make it actually feasible for someone to want to acquire. So think about that. Even if you're not looking to sell your company, you should still treat it as if you are from the moment you start it to the moment you actually start scaling. So I think that's a phenomenal point there, John, is actually keeping consistency forward. And for everyone who
I totally agree with what you said, because once you treat it like you're about to sell it, you're gonna pay attention to details. You're gonna make sure everything's perfect from the start, and then like, because you're going to think as an investor rather than just owning the business. Because when you actually have that business, then you're taking care of it, and you're like, yes, I'm just nurturing it. I'm making that's like a wagyu cow. It's like making sure like it's well taken care of. So when you sell it, people want to buy it. So, and I've seen a lot of people exit for a lot of money,
That's the thing. And keeping your ducks in a row, like you said, and also keeping yourself proactive, right? Not being reactive. All these things that we just spoke on all contributes towards your brand actually being an asset that someone wants to acquire, right? So all these points are coming together here, man. And you could really do some big damage and actually make a great deal of money, not only on the store, but from your exit as well, to your point.
Correct. And it's a beautiful thing too. You're actually going to enjoy the process. It gets deeper than the money for me now. I actually enjoy what I'm doing, which is, I'm in a niche. I can't say the niche yet. But very soon when we exit out the brand, I'll literally make like a big reveal actually here on BSF, and actually go in depth with you guys, like how we did it. But it's like one of those niches I never thought I'd be passionate about. And now I am, it's like.
So the millions made you passionate, huh?
Yes. Passionate about it. But also, once you start getting the reviews about people talking positive about your product, it actually gives you that, that proof of concept, like the reaffirmation you need. You're like, wow, like I recently saw Dua Lipa Like she's a big artist. Like she actually follows my page. She hearts my page. Like she likes every single post, every comment. And I'm just like, wow. Like when I saw that, I'm like, yo, this thing is real. Like it's real. I see friends that don't even know what I do. They follow my page. They bought from me. Things like that feel really good. Because I don't tell them what I sell, what my brand is. But I've heard people talk about my brand at the gym and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, super exciting stuff. It really like helps you push forward. You're like, wow, like this thing, like it's bigger than me. Let's keep pushing.
And Jean, you were given no handouts, my friend. You started this from absolute zilch, scratch, zero, right?
Yep.
No handouts, nothing, totally from the mud. How cool is that?
It's amazing, like the work. It was some work, because you remember at the time, it wasn't the easiest time for me because when I started, I was still in college. I was still working. I had like a full-time job. I had an internship, and I was like, me and my cousin, we were like, yo, we have to figure this out. We have to make it work no matter what. We enrolled shortly after. I got into a nasty car crash, and everything's just.
I remember that. I remember that mastermind that you couldn't come.
Yeah.
I remember that to this day. That's when I was living in New York.
Yeah, I couldn't even move my neck around the time like that day. I was like, yo, I don't think I'm gonna make it, And then because I felt bad, I was like, because I wanted to be on that call, even after being hit at probably 80 miles an hour. Like so it was just like,
wow, man.
Like I was at that point. I was like, yo, I'm all in, because you don't realize how much you're capable of when your back's against the wall. Survival will make you do a lot of crazy stuff, Hopefully it's positive stuff, but survival will show you like how much work you're actually able to put in, how far you're willing to push yourself to make something work.
No, right. And Jean, that's a crazy part of the story. So I want to kind of touch on this a little bit more, kind of take a few steps back. And in the meantime, guys, what we'll do, comment hashtag BSF below. Two people will be winning a BSF hoodie right now. Hashtag BSF below as many times as you possibly can. Spam the chat. And we're going to move on to this point of Jean's story because I think it's going to be massively intriguing to you guys for no matter where you're at in your life. I think this question is going to bring out a really kind of good conversation point. So hashtag BSF below as many times as you possibly can. Spam it. The most comments will win the hoodie. I'll probably give out like 4 or 5. I said 2. I'll probably give out 3, whatever. We'll give out a ton. Spam it down below. But Jean, walk us through it, man. So you got in that car crash right before you even had this brand or any consistency up at all. Mm-hmm. Walk me through like how you were feeling like before you had the whole world ahead of you, all this work to do. How do you get out of that rut of getting hurt, getting in that crash, and then becoming a multi-million-dollar e-commerce entrepreneur and learning a new craft through BSF that you've never seen before? Like, how does that happen? Walk us through the mindset. That's epic.
Honestly, it's one of those things like no matter what, I knew like ecom just clicked for me from the start. How I got introduced to ecom was through a friend, and I just saw the friend just like drive, like it was like the shiny object syndrome at first because I saw him driving a nice car, and I was like, yo, what are you doing? You're like my age driving a Benz. At the time I could drive a Benz, I just wouldn't be able to eat for a week. So and I was like, how do you do it? He goes, oh, I have a digital marketing agency, but my main thing is really e-commerce. This is how I started. This is what it is. And then I just went on Google how to start dropshipping, and that's how it started. And then after getting my first sale, like it kind of like gave me proof of concept that it worked. So to me, all I needed was that first sale. I was super negative on that sale, probably like $100-$200 down. Like that was like way before I met BSF and everything. So it was just like putting different things together from different gurus on YouTube, which is actually one of the worst ideas because you're gonna be all over the place. Every question you have, you're gonna get the answer for someone else. You're better off getting all your answers from one source, or like all the system from one source, so you have foundation. If something works, if something doesn't work, you know exactly what didn't work. So from there, I already got the sale, and then and I kept seeing you on my page, and I'm like, yo, where's this guy? Where's this guy? And then I ended up following you, and then probably 2 weeks before the car crash, I enrolled. And then, I started testing, did a few tests. They were they give a few sales unprofitable. So I cut, because that's kind of how we move. I had 20 products ready. So I was just ready to move one by one.
Very good.
And then probably 3 days before I launched that one product, boom. And I'm like, my whole world is like all over the place. I'm dealing with insurance. My mom in my ears at the time telling me, "Yo, you should have went to church. I told you not to go out." It, it was a rough week, and then like I still had school. Now I had no car. Now I had to, I had like an hour and a half commute back and forth, then go to work. To me, I was just like, yo, you know what? At this point, I actually decided to actually wake up earlier and then go to sleep later. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna wake up earlier, get to school early, start working. While in class, that was actually really bad. I was in class with my headphones on, pretending I'm listening to the teacher. Just working that product, just like, going through the program. And then, I got my first profitable day. And I was just like, okay. And then I get my second profitable day. I'm like, okay. And then it goes on to like a week. And then like it just clicked. It was just like, I like after like the proof of concept and then actually like, within that period of time, because we've talked about it and then you were like you were very supportive. You were like always like you're cheering me on. You're like, gee, it's okay. Like don't overthink it too much. Things like that happen. And then, I just kept pushing. It wasn't easy like that's that I'm not going to come on here and pretend it was easy because with the accident and stuff, like it was a headache with the insurance and everything.
That's
It
crazy.
was-
And John, like not to cut you, imagine this, like the timeline of you hitting that winner. That's now a multi-million-dollar brand that you're still running this to this day. Uh, 3 days prior of you testing that product, that accident happened. Imagine if you could see your life on like a brochure like this, like it was a timeline of your life, right?
yeah.
And then you could see car crash, and then 3 days later, you're going to hit your multi-million-dollar brand product. Like imagine like you knew that. I'm like, that's so crazy to me. Like 3 days later, like imagine that car crash stopped you from testing that product. You would
Look,
you maybe not be here. How crazy is that?
it's crazy how life works though. Like it's amazing. But funny enough, that's actually just one of my winning products because I have two
Now
brands.
you know what you're doing. You got the
So
systems in place.
so it's like after that car crashed, and then like my cousin was like, "Oh, we should test that product." It was the silliest product I've ever seen. And like at that point, I was just in a state of mind. I'm like, "Yo, whatever, bro. We're just gonna go and test it," because it passed through all the systems, but it didn't make sense why it passed. So we were like, "All right, let's just go with it." And then it worked. It was just like, wow. And then we've actually like went taking that product, actually built like a sustainable brand around it to the point now we're like private labeling it, and the rest
What a
is
story.
history now.
What a story, man. Like like for so many people, that car crash would have been like where they're just gonna go, back to work or whatever. They're just gonna quit and just not even try. They're tired. They're feeling lazy. You powered through, man. That
Yeah.
takes a different type of entrepreneur, man. And that's something that you really gotta have on the inside. That's something you can't teach. That discipline, that grit, that ambition. And I feel like a lot of us here watching right now in this community, we have that, right? And John, like it's crazy. That's an incredible story. Round of applause for Jean down below, guys.
Thank
That's an
you.
inspiring ass story, honestly is.
One thing I'll say to that also motivated me a lot, and a lot of you guys on this live can relate to. I'm very passionate about like e-commerce and stuff like that. And sometimes when someone asks me, "Oh, why are you so happy today?" and I'll be like, "Oh, like my business just did this, just did that." And I've had a lot of people like uh, kind of like they're being disingenuous. Like they would be like, "Oh, like your little business," those like backhanded compliments. So to me, it was more like now, like I can't stop because I'm actually gonna make them right, and I was not willing to do that. I'm not willing to let these negative people be right about my business. I was like, okay, okay. And now all of them are asking me how do I do it, if I offer mentorship. I'm like, bro, get out my TMs, bro. Let me get my little business in peace, be in peace. So that's
And
kind of like so that was me. Like I'm big, and then also too, like I also had other reasons why, like I've always wanted to have a life where I'm super comfortable. And I mean, for me personally, my biggest goal in life is to retire my parents. So that's really my reason why too. So I don't think nothing except for death can stop me at this point. Like, like I'm gonna get that done. So that's one of my main reason why. So you really need that to keep pushing on those hard days. It's not every day is gonna be blue and blue and sunny. Some days we have troubles in the business too, but we keep pushing, we figure it out, and it's like another lesson we learn in the future that we don't repeat again. So that's kind of like how I see it.
No, right. And one of the things that not only when you were rocking through the program and going through all the systems of BSF, but even years, while the brand is established, you've remained consistent every single day. You've had that discipline, John, that many people don't have, right? So walk us through that. Like, how do you channel that, right? How do you channel that discipline? How do you channel that hunger? How do you get up from that car accident and still get on the dang laptop? Like, how do you do it? Like, because there's a lot of people that struggle with that personal discipline, like that personal, like, let me get up and go ahead and do this even though I don't want to. Walk us through how you have done that, my friend. How have you done that?
So to me personally, I'm a big believer that you should respect yourself the same way, if not more than you respect your job, your school. Uh, and the reason I'm saying that, if you have to get up no matter what and go, like, dress up and take the bus, drive, go to that job, and you have to be there at 8 a.m., you're gonna be there no matter what, because there's consequences of you not doing that. To me, I'm like, if I made a promise to myself, obviously I'm going through stuff, but I know I already signed the contract at my job and I still have to show up no matter what. Why would I not show up for myself? And and I'm very big on that. Whatever promise you make to yourself, you have to keep on that. You tell yourself you're gonna go to the gym tomorrow morning, get up and go to the gym, because if you have to clock in at 8 a.m. or 6 a.m., you're gonna do it regardless. So you have to. So to me, I was just like, yo, I have to love and respect myself more, or on the same level that I do with these other commitments I have. And that's kind of like one of the biggest things for me. And another thing too is like the discipline part of it. I realized that the discipline will bring more motivation back regardless, because with enough discipline, consistency, you're gonna get the results that got you motivated in the first place. So that's very important, because once you actually start getting disciplined again, and then now you're gonna get those small wins that's going to bring that motivation back again, and then it's just gonna go up from there. So for me at this point now, it's not even about like motivation at this point. It's all about discipline and a promise I made myself, my family. So that keeps me going. I'm like, yo, and the fear of going back down to zero again is even stronger than ever now. It's like,
Hell no.
gotta keep going.
I love that. Dude, I mean, first and foremost, the people are loving it right now. So you're crushing it. Amazing stuff here. This is all very valuable. Thank you so much again, John, for making the time for hopping on today.
Absolutely.
Now, for everyone who's just joining as well, because we had a nice little spurt, this is John Hermy. He's actually one of our BSF students who's managed to become a multi-seven-figure e-commerce entrepreneur. My man made it from the mud, from zero, followed the BSF systems, and is now, back here years later with a brand that's been running for about a year and a half, 2 years straight, or
2 years and a half.
Yeah, for about 3 years at this point, which is really, really established at this point. And that's what you're looking to do, is actually build a brand that's long-term and sustainable. So, who better to walk us through it than John himself, who's went through the BSF program, went through the systems, and done what so many of us aspire to do. Now, with that being said, John, walk us through exactly, how you hold yourself accountable. You said you make a promise to yourself. You said you make a promise to your family, right? For everyone watching who may not be at your level yet, right, who may be striving to get to your level, right? Maybe someone who has some consistency in e-commerce, has a brand built, but isn't at the multi-million-dollar mark. How do you hold yourself accountable? Like, is it that promise to yourself and that family? Like, what is the thing that you're doing to make sure that you're committing the next day?
So what I personally think, anyone that is not like, maybe at like low 5 figures or 6 figures, I think what you should do is really like, just from the start, whatever got you in there. Wow, that's a really nice comment. I like that. Good stuff. So like, whatever like got you in there from the start, you have to be able to channel that, and also go back to yourself, like as being like a kid. As a kid, we all dreamed of probably like flying to space, flying to Mars, all that stuff. Like, our mind had no limits. It wasn't up until we started growing up, and then like the world started limiting our beliefs and what we can possibly like accomplish. So to me, I'm like, I don't believe I have no limit. I'm like, there's actual planes in the sky. People can live underwater in space now. To me, building a business is actually, I think, one of the simplest things you could actually do now.
You're going to leave your house to do it.
Bro, I'm like in Boston. You're in Florida right now. We're having a live chat with like hundreds and thousands of people like on there. Like, technology has advanced so far that Now, when you think about it, there's actually harder things, like to do. Imagine like a guy that tried to do like that tried to create the first plane, like like the first airplane. That's something like if someone given up on that, you'd be like, okay, that makes sense because
Yeah.
that's what kind of fly, but he never stopped. So to me, it's more like you just have to keep going. And if everything feels like it's not working, you're actually not losing the way you think you are. If let's say, for example, you tested a product, it doesn't work. Now you know what doesn't work. You know exactly like what part you messed up on, whether it was the product, product description. Like you're gonna know, and it's actually gonna make you better. And actually, a strong believer of you don't want to hit your first winner too fast. You kind of want to go through a little bit of struggle because you're actually going to learn from it. If you first product you test and it just like blows up, it will blow up in your face because you actually will not know what you're doing. It's literally just luck. You actually want to actually understand what you're doing, and that's what's gonna keep you consistent. And actually, once you actually know what you're doing, on those days you wanna quit, you're actually gonna know. Oh, I can just go back to the drawing board and actually start again. So for anyone watching this, that because Justin and I, we were both on that same level at some point. We were starting out. We did not really know what we were doing. It's you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing. Keep educating yourself. Clear out your IG, your Facebook, remove everything negative on there. Follow people that you actually want to be like, want to learn from. Clean your algorithm, and then just keep pushing. I promise you, if you keep pushing from now up until Q4, you're more than likely to hit something. It might be like a small winner, and that small winner is gonna give you so much experience that when you're in front of a big winner, you're not gonna mess that up. Because you'd be surprised how many of y'all probably had a big winner in your hand, probably just didn't know what to do with it.
Yes,
So
someone even commented down here that they actually had a big winner as well. And then the lack of system or whatever at the time wasn't able to be put forth to scale. So that's a good point. Kind of understanding yourself long term, that you need to know the system. You got to know how to actually operate. So when you're faced with that opportunity, you could take it by the horns. That's a great point there, man.
and you can also teach other people within your team to do it, so you can replicate like that same system over multiple stores. So it's very important to think about that.
That's the beautiful thing as well. I'm happy you brought that up. So, Jean, someone like yourself, you've done this so many times over again. You know what you're doing, to say the least, at this point, right? You could duplicate this over and over because you have the systems. One of our students, Paul, inside the program right now, doing the same thing, doing 200K a month with another brand to another 100K a month. He's got two brands, multiple things going on because of these systems. So, Jean, walk us through like the difference between like going at it by YouTube videos and random crap compared to going at it with BSF systems and actually having a guideline and a map to follow that's been proven, right? It's easier to duplicate. Walk us through the difference there between, not working, with something that's proven and then using the BSF systems.
For me personally, you know me, I hate YouTube. Obviously, there's free content. If you're actually going to inform yourself about a particular, like if you want to educate yourself about a particular subject, YouTube is, probably the best bet to go. But if you're actually trying to learn, you actually want systems, and that's why I'm like a big fan of BSF till this day. I still go back, I still look at some of the modules. Like I personally, like, there's so much in that program. Like there's still updates in there. I still always go back and then like look at the stuff, look at the materials, because everything is just like in place. Any questions I have, any doubt, I can always just go back and and actually like refresh my memory. On YouTube, you're gonna have different guys telling you different things, and it's the worst. Now what's what is when you're learning from different when you're learning from too many people, you're actually going to be stuck in analysis paralysis. I'm sure you've heard of that term, where like you have so much going on in your head, so much, like so many things you think you should try, and you end up trying nothing. So so it's one of those things, like you really actually want systems, and actually like a community too. You want to be part of a community, a winning community, because everyone in that group will make it. Like I strongly believe like the market is big enough for everyone. Like everyone nowadays is launching something on the internet. Like everyone is buying. There's 7 billion people on planet Earth. You're selling a $50 product. You don't need to sell to two. If you're selling a $50 product, you only need to sell to 20,000 to make $1 million. Do you think you can sell to 20,000 people out of 7 billion? You know, when you kind of actually do the math, it's actually not as complicated as you actually think it could be. So it's one of those things I actually want you guys to actually believe, believe in yourself, follow the systems, follow it, don't like follow it for like one or two products. And if it doesn't work, you stop, follow it, keep going. Because that's what I personally did. So, that's what Justin personally did, my cousin, other people, that went to the program. That's what we've all done, So you have to actually stay consistent with it. Consistency builds momentum, and Justin says that a lot, consistency wins no matter what. So if you start and then you actually, you try one product and then you're like, let me go back to YouTube from that guy telling me pop, whatever in that campaign, it's actually going to like be very detrimental to you, because it's actually going to mess up with your head, because now you don't have a flow, you don't have a system, you're going to be all over the place, and it's the worst place to be when you're first learning out something. That's why some universities, they have their systems. That's why like you can't go and learn engineering like from different dudes. It's like one professor that like teaches you everything you need to be. I mean, everything you need to learn. So that's kind of like how I want you guys to approach it and stay consistent with it. I promise you guys, start now. Now is actually the best time to start, kind of like get the mistakes out the way. So like right when buyer behavior starts increasing, I think around mid-September or maybe October, beginning of October, that's when like you want to be on that auction, on Facebook, on TikTok, whatever you're going to be selling on. You want to be on that, ready to sell. I'm telling you.
That's incredible, man. And John, you're such a good dude. Like, I love how you're so big on like the real thing. Because at the end of the day, like it really is a discipline and the systems, as well as just showing up every day and just keeping it consistent. So everything you're saying here is total facts. And it really shows how you've really made it to this point, man, because no one could talk like this, right, without actually being where you are right now. Like you figured it out, which is so amazing. So these are all great points, and I appreciate you bringing them up. And also, someone down below said thoughts on TikTok Organic. TikTok Organic is definitely a phenomenal resource. Okay, and there's also something else I want to bring up as well as TikTok. TikTok is great for driving organic consistency. Also, when you have your winner, right, one thing that we're doing for one of our tactical brands right now is pushing that product on eBay, putting it on Amazon as well. Okay, listing it on Amazon, getting it on eBay, putting it on these organic other traffic sources, you could get more actual, individuals to your website to actually purchase. So as you, start to generate consistency, start putting things on TikTok. Okay, start going with Google ads. Okay, that's the goal here. Once you start seeing forward movement in your Facebook ads, build out on other platforms so you can start to have more traffic and consistency and not just rely on one, but always, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and then forward from that point on. So also look into anyone else who has some consistency right now. Look into listing your items on eBay and Amazon as well. It's literally what we're doing right now for our brand to go ahead and have just more consistency thereafter as well. Now, what are your thoughts on those points as well, John?
So with TikTok, one thing I'll add on there as well, obviously still focus on Facebook and Instagram. No matter what people say, they're still the best platform.
100%.
You can scale much longer on there still. It's still like, it's one thing, even though like one thing about Facebook is it's like the data it has, no other platform will ever have it. No matter what they're trying to do.
All the years, you're right.
Yeah, all the years they've accumulated. Facebook's been there for a while. I remember having Facebook since I was like 10 years old. I'm about to turn 25 now. So like Facebook's been around for a while. So they're actually on there, like they have a lot of data. TikTok is fairly new, and I actually love how TikTok actually gives, like, it forced all those platforms to give people free organic reach now. That's why you see there's Reels on IG, there's YouTube Shorts and stuff like that. But one thing I will say about TikTok though, don't obviously focus on organic, but you also, once you make enough profit from that, you want to focus on paid ads, because paid ads will help you with consistency. Because when it comes to organic, you're hoping that your posts go viral. Not every single post will go viral. What happens if you go 2-3 weeks and your posts don't go viral? You do not want to stop your cash flow. So, obviously use the, virality aspect of it. So post, but still run ads. Because at the end of the day, with the ads, you control how much money, like when I tell you control how much you make, like it's true. Like once you start running a product, you're actually going to know like your KPIs. If I spend $2, maybe I get back six. So if you spend $200, you're gonna get 600 back. So now what do? You spend 2,000, so you get 6,000 back. So that's kind of like how like paid ads work. So that's why like you want, and then a lot of people would think like, oh, I don't have 2,000 to put in every day. That same 2,000 is just going to recycle in once it's profitable. So that's kind of like how I want you guys to see it. Paid ads is still the way to go. I 100,000% would still recommend that. Organic is always great. Who doesn't like free sales? But
Exactly.
but you still want to control and have consistency. You know,
And that's such a good point, man. Like essentially your consistent movement should be Facebook, Google, and real traffic sources, right? Like you said, Facebook will always be the king. Okay, Google's better for kind of lower volume, higher ROAS consistency, right? And then TikTok, etc., are just kind of like the icing on the cake. Like who doesn't like sprinkles on their ice cream, right? You got the ice cream being Facebook, you got the whipped cream being Google, right? And your email marketing is everything else. And then you can have the sprinkles on top of TikTok and the organic strategies. To your point, that's a very, very good thing to bring up. Don't always rely on organic because you're not always going to have the luxury of going viral every time.
Yes. And also too, if you look at like the biggest brands out there, they're all running ads. So why aren't you? If all those brands can make money organically, why are they still paying for ads? While they still putting those ads in front of you? There's a reason why. Because they still want consistency. Maybe not every single drop they release will get in front of everyone's eyes, but they can control that via paid ads. So paid ads is still the way to go. I'm a strong believer of it. You put money in, you get money out. So, everyone wins.
I love it, man. And Jean, you've been dropping value. Another round of applause for my man, Jean below, guys. Absolutely dropping heat on today's live stream event, as he always does, right? Every single time. That's why you guys
Thank
love
you,
it.
brother. Thank you. I try to, man. Like, obviously I don't have like a big, IG following. So I don't really post. No one knows what I do on IG. So I only post random stuff, random stupid stuff. So it's like, whenever like someone DMs me and asks me for stuff, I always like to give back because, starting out, I reached out to you a lot. You also gave me a lot of free value before, I actually enrolled with you, which is one of the big major reasons why I did. Because everyone, as soon as you like kind of like hit them up, they just send you a link. That's it. And I'm like, yeah, am I supposed to know whether or not I can trust you, whether or not you know your stuff? So so I'm a big believer of like paying it forward. If you know something, and someone asks you, if it's not gonna be too hard, just send that voice note. Send that quick text answer. If you can, if you see it, because sometimes if someone messages me on Facebook, that is going straight to like at that little box that I never, never really checked. So, but overall, it's like thank you for everything you've done for me so far. Like I tell you that all the time, but I truly appreciate it because your program did change my life. My cousin and I, we talk about this every single like every other day like that. We're like, damn, like what if we never did? Because we were really on the fence because we're like at the time, we're like we were so adamant, like we were so strong on like well powering ourselves through stuff. We didn't understand the value of like shortcutting like your way sometimes. Not shortcutting in the way you're cheating, but sometimes you don't need to spend 20 hours looking for an information when you can literally have it right there available to you. If we did it, like for example, if we had issues, and we needed like certain contacts and stuff like that, who would we reach out to? And that's why one of the things, I've been very annoying. And now
You're never annoying, man. You're never annoying, Jean.
now I'm less annoying because guys, I used to hit this man up every single time I had a question. Midnight, 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m. And whenever like he would see it, he would respond right away. Sometimes it'd be like instant. I'm like, that thing doesn't even shown as delivered on my end. And then you literally, wow, that's dope. I like that. So that's actually dope that you've been very like helpful, but despite like enrolling in the program and everything, doing like our coaching calls, just me getting like those simple questions I need an answer fast, like you didn't mind me reaching out to you. That was very big for me because most of these guys, when you're getting their programs and stuff, what they like to do is just throw you in a Facebook group, and then if you have a question no one answers, it's actually the students answering. So your program was different. So I want to give you a shout out for that. Thank you, brother.
Hey, appreciate you, man. And look, at the end of the day, man, we build the systems, we give the tools, we help out, we give a little bit of critique in here and there for ads and whatnot. You're doing the work, man. So shout out to my man John. Where can they find you, John? What's your IG at? What's your IG?
My IG is TIYAYI_10, or you can just type in Gene Hermy. You're probably going to see it, but my handle is TIYAYI_10. So
TIYAYI_10.
yeah,
I
so
love it.
that's my IG. That was my nickname from when I was young, and I actually did like created my IG when I was like 10 years old. So I never really changed it, and 10 was my soccer number because I used to play soccer. So
And
so
now
that
we're going for just tens of millions now.
yeah. So I might start a brand and call it 10 million. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, shit, you know how to do it, man. That's it. Now there you go. Like right there, he's thinking about starting a brand. He knows how to do it. He might just do it, right? That's the beauty. Like when you get inspired, you can action on it now. You can take a leap and make these things happen now. Like learn these systems, guys. E-commerce, it changed my life for freaking ever. It changed John's life. It changed all of my close friends' life who are in the space. And honestly, if anyone's on the fence with like e-com in general, you think it's like late. No, you're so early to the game in e-commerce, right? You really are.
One thing I'll also say, because a lot of people kind of like think of ecom as just ecom, you're actually going to learn digital marketing. And this is much bigger than just
Exactly.
ecom. And
E-com's
guys,
just selling online.
guys,
Everything's selling online.
I want you guys to think about this. With ecom, you're actually going to learn so many skills at once: website design, email marketing, copywriting. Like those are all things you learn separately. Those are all things you learn separately that you're going to combine. You can pick each one of those and actually like profit all of those. There's people that are actually just copywriters, just website designers, just funnel builders. Things like that you're actually e-commerce actually giving you all of those combined. Like for me, for example, now that I learned e-com and I actually learned media buying, guess what? Like I recently, I was talking to Justin. I recently started like a bookkeeping company because that's what I went to school for. I went to school for accounting. So I'm starting a bookkeeping company, and I'm actually planning on using paid ads to get clients, to put my business in front of people. But let's say I never learned like but I learned running ads through ecom, but I'm gonna use those same skills to do something else. I have other businesses that I know, people, friends that actually have clothing brands like this one I have on my head. This hat, you know, this clothing brand I have on. If I turn around, you're actually going to see a design. So all of these people, they know what I do. Now they're actually coming after me, asking me for help to run ads. Those are all skills you're actually going to learn. That you would, and if you went to college for those, they would make you learn that in 4 years compared to like 2 3 months. Like
Yeah.
which is absolutely insane because bookkeeping, some accounting, you could learn that in under a year. Bookkeeping, 6 weeks. And that's one thing I realized about the system now, and I'm like, wow. So digital marketing is the way to go. Everything's going digital. And a lot of you guys might think it's like late. Trust me, it's still in the early stages. Very soon it will be late. Trust me, it's not now.
No,
It's
you're
not
right.
now.
And I think even like John, even when we turn like 70, 80, 90, like I feel like there's still going to be massive things will obviously be different, but there's still going to be massive opportunity in just the raw, online digital marketing space, right? Because this is everlasting. This is so evergreen. People feel like they're so late, and it's just so far from the truth. Like because people see ads and people trying to get them into like do other random shit, like, oh, you're late to ecom. Like you're not. You're so early, and there's so much opportunity. And the thing is, like these days, there's more people shopping online every single day.
Yep.
It really is.
I
So
do not buy in stores. Like I personally do not. I know my
I don't
size.
buy anything except investments. That's literally all I buy.
Like it's the convenience too. Like a lot of things. For example, like this little tripod. All like I'm not going to go to Five Below and look for it. Like I go like on Google, search it up, maybe Amazon, and I get it straight to my house. Like people love the convenience when they know exactly what they're getting. If they know, okay, I want maybe this wallet, and they know how the wallet is going to look. So obviously, all they have to do is they're not going to drive 30 minutes to an hour to get it. they're literally just going to order it. So it's like e-commerce is not going anywhere, especially drop shipping, because a lot of people have that, a little confused because there's so many people out there saying like, oh, drop shipping is dead, this, and that. And let me explain to you like why this is like nonsense. Because drop shipping is simply the method of fulfillment. That's literally what dropshipping is. E-commerce is what you do. Dropshipping is how you deliver it in the beginning stages. You're not gonna dropship forever. You're getting proof of concept, which is actually the best thing you could do rather than buying 1,000 units of something
Exactly.
when you don't know if it's going to sell or not. So when you actually get proof of concept, then now you start running some ads. You see some consistency with it. Then now you start getting like small batches of inventory for it. Start getting faster shipping. People like it. You start, put your branding on the packaging. People still buying, and you see like that consistency. You go all in, private label, better content, better everything, and that's when you're gonna like fully scale. So for all you guys thinking of dropshipping this, dropshipping that, all you have to do is like like Justin teaches, not make your store look like the average dropshipping store, and you'll be just fine. I
I
promise
mean,
you.
that's so well said, man. That's so well said. And I think that's literally a perfect wording for where the market's headed. Just stay motivated, stay hungry, and start now. I'm telling you, 3, 4, 5 years from now, people are going to look back. "Oh, I wish I started 5 years ago." 5 years in the e-commerce game
It's a
is
lot.
crazy. Yeah,
It's
that's
a lot.
crazy. I mean, look at the progress, man. Like the progress in 2 to 3 years, it's like almost like 10, 20 years in like corporate. Honestly, that's how I feel.
Dude, whatever I have in student loan right now, I would have given that to start exactly right out of high school, or even
Hell
in high
yeah.
school. So
No,
it's
straight up.
and last thing I want to also say to you guys as well, in terms of like the drop shipping thingy. When you think about it, Airbnb is drop shipping house like homes, right? That's literally what they do. That's literally what they do. So it's all about make like I really want to get that concept because I get a lot of DMs. Like some of you guys would see like my screenshot and it would be like, oh, you think dropshipping is? I'm like, no, guys. It's literally just the vehicle of how they receive the product, your overall brand. You know how many brands started as dropshipping store? Manscaped, Fashion Nova, like all these guys. Whoa, I like that. I like that. Good stuff. Yeah. So like when you actually think about it, it's like like all those big brands got proof of concept. Like you need proof of concept, and then you go all in. So I want you guys to think of it that way.
I love that, John. Also, man, we have to give out 3 hoodies today. You have your phone near you by chance, or no?
Me,
Yeah.
I do.
Hop in the BSF group. Go to the live and just pick 3 comments that you want to throw the hoodie to. Of the people who commented hashtag BSF a ton. So guys, but while John is looking for it, last chance to go ahead and enter the giveaway. Like the video. You gotta like the live stream right here, and also comment hashtag BSF below. We're gonna go ahead and give out the hoodies.
now if I pick someone, yeah, they're the most hated man on planet Earth.
No, you got this, brother. All right, guys. So we
So
always give out
guys,
extra these as well, right? So if you don't win, no hard feelings. We're gonna do these a lot more. You have a lot more chances to win. Let's pick 3 here, John.
hold on.
All right, wait 2 seconds. Wait. All right, so guys, everyone.
It's crazy though, because I'm looking at myself in there.
All right, everyone throw a like in the video. Hashtag BSF below. 30-second warning, guys. 30 seconds. John, pick your best 3 there. Spam hashtag BSF below, guys. No matter where you're watching from, hashtag BSF. You gotta like the video though too.
I'm
Gotta
gonna go
like
by the most recent, so you guys need to go now.
Yeah, make it happen now, guys. We're making it happen. Making it happen. We got my man Evan Lawler. What's up, Evan? We got Kingsley. We got Alan. We got Vivek. We got Caroline. We got
So
Karen. We got Abdonald.
for the first one, I got Even Lawler.
My man Evan Lawler. Congratulations,
Evan Lawler.
you won the BSF hoodie. Thank Jean for that one. Shoot us a message directly after. We'll get your hands on that hoodie, my friend. Congratulations, Evan.
Let me see.
Who's number 2, Jean? Who are we looking at?
I got Bishoy Atef.
Oh, Bishoy won a 30-minute one-on-one with me about, I think, a week ago in one of our other groups, and a BSF hoodie now. Bishoy, congratulations, my friend.
Nice.
You got a hoodie coming.
Yeah, one more. Let me look.
Let's see it.
Let me see. Caroline as the last.
Ooh, Caroline won. That's awesome. That's funny because I purchased Caroline's home and now she lives in Portugal, which is sick. So Caroline, congratulations on that. And she's also in the program now as well. Massive congratulations,
That
Caroline.
is so
You're
dope.
getting the BSF hoodie sent your way. Massive congratulations. And also, guys, I'm going to do another 3 for all of us as well. Let's go ahead and throw one to my man, Vivek Mohan. You win a hoodie, my friend. Pete Majorian, you win a hoodie as well. And my man, Donald Ortiz, you win a hoodie too. That's 6 hoodies given away. We're like Oprah out here giving hoodies to everybody. Amazing. John, my friend, thank you so much for hopping on today. Massive value bomb. Okay, literally, these are sick. We love when you hop on, man. Thank you for sharing.
No, thank you for having me on, brother. I truly appreciate that. I love coming on here. They're actually super fun, like, because, right before the gym, get myself hyped up, It's like some of the things I say too, like I say it and then like I've already known them, like I already know about it. Like saying it again reinforces it in my mind as well, because a lot of the stuff I talk about, I actually do it every day, and then like saying it over and over again, like that helps us a lot as well. So I truly appreciate truly appreciate you having me on here. I have fun, I love this community. I promise to be a little bit more active on there going forward. Because like now I have like a little bit more free time. Those past couple of weeks, I've been super busy, trying to like private label this brand, getting everything ready. So, it's good.
Hey, everyone loved it today, man. So we thank you for hopping on, John. Not only you breaking down how you made it happen, how you kind of pushed through adversity, it went through during the car crash at first as well, how BSF was able to change your life with systems and consistency to get the brand built, and now you're a multi-million-dollar e-commerce brand owner, and you're still in your 20s, man. How old are you right now?
24.
And you're a multi-million-dollar brand owner at
Yes.
24. Did you ever think you'd be able to say that?
Absolutely not.
Isn't that freaking
crazy, when you think about it? Because when I thought, so I'm actually going to be like very honest with you guys. When I first thought about e-com, I just thought about like maybe like a 30K, 40K per month, maybe like a quick 10K profit. That's kind of like where my mind was at, up until like everything happened so fast and I hit that 400K month, and I'm like, wow. It happened so fast, and then like I remember like that day, it was like the month of December, and I hit 400K right at 11:59. I was at church that day, and I looked at it because I was at like 399, 99 something, and I was looking up and I was showing my cousin, and then as soon as it hit midnight, because like at midnight at my church, we'd go straight into praying, and I refreshed and I see 400K. And I don't know if you saw that one picture I posted. I had this one picture on my IG right there at the church. I went like this. I was like, no one could understand like what I was saying, but I literally just went like this, like, and because it didn't feel real at all. It's insane to think about, because because guys, I'm telling you, keep pushing, because when the cash flow starts flowing, once you find that thingy, like that product, once you find the product, it's going to scale, probably scale so fast that you're actually going to, now you're going to face another problem, because there's good problems and there's medium problems, there's bad problems, right? For now, you think not being able to, like find some consistency is a problem. Wait till you have too much, and then you're like, damn, nah, I don't have inventory. I scale too fast, now I have no inventory. Trust me, those are like those problems you want to have. So keep working, get away from these problems and on to the next one, because problems are gonna come no matter what, and you gotta keep pushing. And it's fun, and you're gonna have fun along the journey. Like you're actually gonna learn a lot. You're gonna discover a lot about yourself. What's your breaking point? Because there's been days where I'm like, oh my god, bro. Where you're like, you feel like everything is like all over the place. But once you kind of like snap out of it, go back to the drawing board, you're like, all right, let me do one thing at a time and keep pushing, So yeah.
Man, what a great live today, John. You crushed it, man.
Thank you, brother.
What a great live, man. And I mean, the people are loving it. So guys, again, one final round of applause for our main man, John Hermy here, the absolute Don. Congratulations, man, on all of your success. Massively proud of you. You really made it happen. And it's an honor to have had you in BSF throughout the entire duration to make it happen, man. So huge shout out to you, bro. You got a lot more to make happen. Let's go ahead and add some zeros. So we'll see you at 100 milli soon, and then $1 billion down the road.
Yeah,
right?
that's the goal, man. That's the goal. I have a lot of things like going on. It's either my head explodes or I make 100 million. So
Hey, guess what, man? I mean, when you break down the timing, like your age, where you're at, you're already done, several millions. Like 100 million ain't that far away, my friend. It's all a volume game, like you said in the beginning. It's just numbers and being able to add up, multiply, divide, make it happen, right? And just really just stay simple, stay basic, and realize that simplicity is the key to your future, and complexity is the enemy of progress, right? So keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate it. We're living life out here. We're enjoying ourselves. And at the end of the day, stay hungry, stay motivated, stay inspired, stay disciplined, and continue to make it happen, BSF fam. We love y'all. Thank you so much for the incredible turnout today, guys. And Jean, before we head off, any last minute kind of words of wisdom, anything you want to shout out to the fam?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on. Like obviously I keep saying that, but like the BSF community is I hold you guys close to my heart. A lot of you guys, like I've told you guys before that messaged me before, you'll always have access to me no matter what. If you have a question or if you need like a word of advice, maybe a word of encouragement, I'm always here because, starting out, I wish, someone would have done that for me. And I want you guys, I'm going to give you guys some homework. The first homework for the day is to clear out your feeds, right? Remove all unnecessary nonsense on there, keep everything business, drop like, e-commerce, Justin, like keep like only follow people you actually, look up to or people you want to learn from, or, declutter your feed, because, and also start the second homework. If you guys haven't been doing that, I want you guys to get a little notebook. It doesn't have to be a necessary planner. And like, when you wake up before you start anything, plan out your day, plan out everything you have to do, and then just literally do everything one step at a time. Just do one task at a time. That has been massive for me. That has really helped me because, there's this saying that goes, how does an ant eat an elephant, and it's one bite at a time, right? So that's kind of like how I want you guys to go about that. And obviously, keep your mind sharp, read some books, like one of my favorite books is like, the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, The Compound Effect is also another great book. I want you guys to get into the habit of reading as well, because reading is really going to reinforce, your mental fortitude, and you're actually going to get a little bit more focus, and, like on your free time, just keep learning and then apply, action will always, like will always win, don't like, and also don't be reactive, be proactive, start preparing, don't wait till it's the last minute, like, oh, I gotta launch this, launch that. No, if you have to do it today, do it, get things done. So, on that note, I just want to tell you guys, like I'm looking to see a lot of screenshots after this Q4 on there, and no matter how like how big or how small it is, post it on there. All wins matters, like all those wins matters because if you look at the progression, if you look at my name, you're going to see a progression. My first screenshot was not that 400K, 200K, 300K. There was a progression, and I want you guys to do the same too. Progression is key. So love you guys all. That's kind of like all I have to say. Love you guys.
Hey, Jean, we'd love to have you, man. And we'll do one better. Guys, if you do what Jean said, you go ahead and clear out your feed, right? And you can go ahead and screenshot it and do this. Clear out your feed and buy a notebook. And if you do both those two things, take a screenshot or a photo of the notebook or the fact that you've done the feed and tag Jean and I on Instagram. If you tag us in your story on Instagram and you cleared out your feed and you also bought the notebook, okay, we're going to go ahead and send you a free BSF hoodie. All we want you to do is actually commit to being greater. Okay, John said, guys, I agree with it 100%. Clear out your feed, only business and entrepreneurship, and buy a notebook and start taking notes throughout the day and writing things down that are, should be done or should be, actioned on as you move forward. If you could do those two things and you've done it, tag myself, Justin, and Jean on Instagram in a story. And if I see that story, I'll see it. I'll go ahead and send you a free BSF hoodie as well on the house just for making yourself make some better progress. So,
awesome.
John, thank you so much for hopping on, my friend. Amazing stream, amazing guys, amazing feedback as well. Thank you guys for the amazing words of encouragement and all the amazing comments across all the groups and everything that we're live on right now. Guys, Keep working hard. This Q4 is going to be sick. And if you're a current BSF student of the $7 of the university or of Platinum, we have a sick Q4. Massive, massive surprise for you guys that it's going to be unveiled over the next few days. Stay woke. Keep an eye out, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy. Love you guys, and I'll talk to everyone in a little bit.